One of the things we take for granted most is how we spend most of our waking hours. According to YouTube analytics, most viewers are full-time employees working 40-hour weeks, as you might be now. Even students, business owners, freelancers, and part-timers work around or are influenced by the 40-hour workweek. Monday through Friday, people work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in a wide variety of professions and countries. Since this arbitrary figure was introduced, industry, technology, and culture have changed drastically. This video isn't about working or being a productive member of society. It's about what's best for workers, businesses, and the economy. Is a 40-hour workweek ideal? What was the solution? Introduce economic alternatives to tradition? Welcome to the Financial Flow. Please like and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up on our latest videos. Before exploring alternatives, it's important to understand how we got to the 40-hour workweek. Our careers depend on what we contribute. A set job with a contract and expectations is a modern idea. The need to feed hunter-gatherers led to farming. From the Egyptians to Renaissance Europe, most people were farmers. There are days and even seasons when nothing needs to be done on a farm, but harvest and planting are busy times. Clocking in at 9 a.m. and clocking out at 5 p.m. wasn't going to work when animals need to be fed at 5 a.m. and running up cattle can take weeks. Also, farming man-hours have diminishing returns, as long as a farmer does what's needed. Extra hours won't increase output. You can only harvest what's in your field, and a 100-hour workweek won't make a cow grow faster. The Industrial Revolution changed this. Workers flocked to industrial jobs where they got out what they put in. So the pressure was to get more people to work more hours to make more output. In a labor-intensive industry, output was limited by how long people could work. Over time, technology improved. Tension existed between factory owners who controlled land and capital and workers who controlled production factors. Without them, production would stop, so labor strikes were bad for everyone, but they helped workers with limited negotiating power. They negotiated working hours. Working 14-hour days was great for output, but less great for workers' sanity and safety, especially considering they worked around the clock in steam-powered cast iron meat grinders. By the late 1800s, Congress and states began mandating an 8-hour workday, which sounded great, but factory owners lobbied against it. If something took 12 hours of constant work to make, they would have to move their factories overseas. This led to most laws having so many loopholes, it was business as usual. This didn't progress much over the next few decades until an unlikely champion of the working man intervened. Henry Ford's 8-hour workday shocked his competition, workers, and the government in 1914. This led to a significant pay raise to $5 per day. If workers had more money and time, they could spend more. Up until this point, the bottleneck of a society's economy was its industrial capacity. Heavy industry shifted this to consumption. If nobody bought Ford Model Ts, they were useless. The new hours made the company a desirable place to work. In the 1920s, Ford was on the cutting edge and treated and paid their workers well. In the modern world, working at Google or Goldman Sachs is seen as professional nirvana. In the age of production lines, this meant that they could attract the most experienced technicians. The company's profits jumped from $30 million to $60 million a year due to their new pool of experienced and motivated workers. So far, it seems like working hours have adapted to the day's needs. Farmers and technicians work around farm duties, and office workers have followed suit. How did we choose this method? The 40-hour workweek is simple and elegant, dividing workdays into 8 hours of work, 8 hours of recreation, and 8 hours of sleep, with 2 days off a week for people to be good consumers. The 40-hour week is mandated otherwise. If a company has a business-to-business relationship, it must be able to process deliveries and sale orders between 9 and 5. This isn't always the best solution. How much of your office day is spent on tasks? Modern office workers spend about 45% of their working hours on their primary task. The rest is lunch and coffee breaks, meetings, distractions, and trying to look busy. In many ways, office workers are like farm workers. No matter how many hours an accountant works, they can only produce one quarterly report per company. In between, they may have nothing to do. There are exceptions, like sales and billable hours, but that's not most workers. Most workers have a job to do, and as long as it's done, they're useful. This causes the first problem: seasonal workers' plight. Take that corporate accountant again. They'll be expected to work 40 hours a week but won't have much to do. Between major reporting dates, their responsibilities will lull, like between planting and harvesting for farmers. As we saw earlier, farmers would reduce their hours during lulls, but accountants can't do that. If they aren't there from 9 to 5, their boss will ask questions. During major reporting periods, corporate accountants are tasked with preparing major reports for investors, regulatory bodies, or the company's management. These tasks can easily consume more than 40 hours a week, where a farmer is happy to work 70-hour weeks during harvest because they can go back to 20-hour weeks. An accountant may be less thrilled because they will only go back to their standard 40-hour week. Overworking accountants is bad for morale because humans are result-driven. People don't mind working long hours to finish a report or harvest because they feel proud and accomplished. They hate lots of idle time interspersed with stressful demands. The rigidities of a system designed to protect workers have skewed seasonal labor supply and demand. Seasonality is one issue, but even for more consistent roles, only half a worker's time is on task. Solution? Cutting worker hours seems obvious. If you only have to be in the office for a fraction of the time, you have less time daily. This would need to be a universal arrangement because companies looking to fill every role will have trouble. Full-time jobs are prestigious. Consider a thought experiment. You're currently full-time but looking for a promotion. You're a successful computer engineer who wants to become a team leader, to become a tech leader, project director, or CTO. You scroll through job postings and see two small business roles. Both roles involve looking after a team of 5 engineers working on a financial software development. Both positions pay $100,000. Role 1 is Tech Team Manager, full-time, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Role number 2 is advertised as a part-time Tech Team Manager. It is a 4-day-a-week part-time role, Monday to Thursday. Choose a role. Part-time work offers the same pay for fewer hours. Part-time work has negative connotations in the real world, so most ambitious career-driven people wouldn't even consider it long enough to weigh the pros and cons. To attract motivated top talent, these companies should hire a full-time employee for a part-time role and fill the rest of their work with filler roles. We may be as guilty as government regulations or corporate executives of perpetuating an inefficient and arbitrary work week. In summary, 40-hour weeks. Why? Because that's how everyone works. People who work more have hustle. People who work less lack motivation, but everything is built around an arrangement made for an industry few of us work in. The shifts in how we work and the increased pressure to move into casualized or independent roles will disrupt this convention, as Henry Ford did with around-the-clock work. Will this help workers? No. The 9-to-5 grind offers some security. Best economic outcome? Macroeconomics is all about increasing total output. People are more than a production factor. They're what we make. Economically, more stuff improves living standards, but maybe the ultimate luxury is more time. It's better to own a company than work for one, if nothing else. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Have a good one.